Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good evening. First of all, I would like to welcome you all to this audience webinar. Before we will start our webinar, allow us to introduce the speaker background for today. Okay, this is the Muhammad Hafzi Muhammad Isa. Has more than 14 years experience working in the area of road and vehicle safety. To date, he has involved as a project leader and co-researchers of various international and domestic research, development grants, and special projects worth 20 million. He has also been actively involved in international and national committees and played a significant role in development of several Malaysian standards and ISO standards with respect to the ergonomics and safety aspect of the vehicles. He has published more than 100 scientific papers in his field of interest include international scholar journal, conference proceeding, scientific reports, technical guidelines, and protocols. He also for a number of conference proceeding and journal, as well as ISO ballots, specifically TC22 /SC36 in bracket safety and impact testing, and TC22/SC39 in bracket ergonomic. So, welcome. Without further ado, I would like to welcome the speaker to deliver the presentation. All right, IRTS Muhammad Hafzi Mat Isa, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Very good evening. Can you hear me, Dr. Sabirin? Is it clear?
Yes. Yes.
All right.
Clear.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, Dr. Sabirin, for the long introduction of myself. Okay, so basically my name is Hafzi. You guys can call me Hafzi. I hope these evening sessions can be, not so formal lah, so that this is because I think this is the platform for me to share what I know for the past 14 years working in MIROS. Okay, but before I proceed, perhaps let me introduce a bit about MIROS. Okay, MIROS is the Malaysian Institute of Road Safety Research. Okay. We are under the Ministry of Transport Malaysia. Our brothers and sisters, JPJ, and I think you guys know JPJ. Previously, there was JKJR, Jabatan Keselamatan Jalan Raya. There's also, Maritime Malaysia. So itu semuanya, that is all our brothers and sisters under the Ministry of Transport. So MIROS has been established since 2007. January 2007, and fortunately, I joined MIROS also in 2007 in September 2007. So since the start of MIROS until now, until present, I think until 2021, I can see a lot of improvements in terms of road safety situation, not only in Malaysia, but also in the ASEAN region, specifically on the automotive safety, especially on the automotive safety, in which later on I will be covering a bit on this ASEAN and CAP, new car assessment program in the ASEAN region, which is also part of our, our big program that we have been conducting in MIROS for the last I say since 2012, for the last nine years, I believe. Yeah. So basically, today's topic that has been given to me is on automotive safety. But I will cover a bit on the recent development, specifically in automotive safety. But before I go very details on that recent development, let us recap a bit on the current situation of road safety worldwide, in the ASEAN region, then in Malaysia. Then we go straight to the importance of automotive safety in increasing the safety of people uh, traveling inside the vehicles. All right, let me go to the first slide. Uh, I was informed that this session will be about 1 hour, and there is no Q&A. So I don't know how to do this, but I'll keep it short. Hopefully, I can finish it up before 5, or maybe perhaps earlier, so that because this online platform, you cannot be so long, unless you have Q&A. Unless if you have Q&A, then that will be very good lah. All right. So if we go to this first slide on the global road safety scenario, okay. Um, just to let you know lah, for the past maybe 20 seconds of my introduction just now, actually someone has already died on the roads. Okay, sebenarnya if you look into the statistic that have been recorded annually, and as stated there, around 1.35 million road traffic deaths were recorded every year. All right, and it is the 8th leading cause of death in the world. And ironically, if you look into the below this statistic below, it is very irony to see that even though the number of vehicles in high-income countries is around 40%, however, as compared to the low-income countries, which is 1% of the world's vehicles, the number of fatalities is relatively low as compared to low-income countries. At high-income countries, around 7%, but in low-income countries, representing 13% of all road traffic deaths in the world. This is based on the data, I think, in 2018. Yeah, so it's very irony there. So, but if you compare in terms of road users, more than half of the road fatalities is actually contributed by the VRU. VRU stands for vulnerable road users. If you look into here, the vulnerable road users consist of the pedestrians, jalan kaki, pedestrians, and cyclists, as well as motorcyclists. And I believe most of us here agree that in Southeast Asia, our main issues is basically on the motorcyclists, on the motorcycle riders and pilots. Okay, another interesting statistics for all of you to note is that road traffic injuries is the first cause of death among children aged 5 to 14 and among young adults aged 15 to 39. This particular statistic, not only at the world level, it is the same at the ASEAN region or even in Malaysia. And from all of these road fatalities, it has resulted in the loss of 3% GDP, the gross domestic product of the world. It's very big, 3%. All right. Next, okay. Usually, if I do this face-to-face presentation, I will ask the audience. Maybe I will ask Dr. Sabirin lah here. How many inside this particular stadium? What do you think, Dr. Sabirin? Just to have a two-way communication lah. Around how many?
No,
what do you think?
80,000.
80,000. Wow, very close. Yeah, 80,000. This is Stadium Shah Alam. I think you know Stadium Shah Alam. Around 80,000. I just want to highlight to all of you here yang tengok ni, I just want to highlight about around 80,000 fatalities have been recorded in our country due to road traffic crashes for the past 10 years. For the past 10 to 12 years lah, I would say 12 years. Because yearly is around 6,000 fatalities. So if you look into this study, you can see that memang a lot of our people in Malaysia has died on the road for the past decades lah, I would say. So if you compare to these COVID-19 cases lah, previously it was not that serious, but just recently for the past couple of months, I believe the number of deaths has reached 70 to 100 deaths per day. So of course that particular statistic is relatively higher lah as compared to road crashes. But before, back in 2020, at that time our total fatalities is less than 10 kan? It's less than 10. But for your information, in Malaysia, road traffic fatalities is around 18 fatalities every day due to road traffic crashes. So this scenario of road traffic situation in our country has been the national interest for quite some time. So that is why the Ministry of Transport and also the government of Malaysia has established an agency to take care on this road traffic safety situation in the country. And that is also why MIROS was established back in 2007. All right, so this is the data from our country. If you look into this particular data, since 2010, since 2010 until 2009, the number of road traffic crashes keeps increasing over the years. Now reach more than 500,000 of road crashes occurring on our roads yearly in Malaysia. Why I use crashes, not using accidents? Because there's been a lot of debates previously by experts that if you use road traffic accidents, it shows that that particular situation or occurrence cannot be preventable. So that is why they are changing the terms. Instead of using road traffic accidents, they're promoting to use the term road traffic crash. So that's why I'm using road traffic crash. All right. So if you look into the fatalities value, okay. Just now, I'm talking about the road traffic crash. More than 500,000 of road traffic crash occurring on Malaysian roads. But in terms of road traffic fatalities, death on the road in Malaysia, our statistic is basically, I would say, at that value around 6,000 fatalities yearly. If you look into the statistic in more details, very specific, in 2016, it is the first time in the history of Malaysia that our road traffic fatalities reaching 7,000 figure. But just fortunately, after that, in 2017 until 2019, the road fatalities is actually decreasing, not dramatically, but decreasing slowly until 2019. And guess what? In 2020, the road fatalities is also decreased dramatically down to 4,000 something fatalities. I think this is expected. Why? Because we have been undergoing COVID-19 phases for the past, I think in 2020 itu lebih kurang around 3 to 4 months, around 3 to 4 months of PKP. So that PKP duration is actually saving a lot of life. Just to let all of you know, saving a lot of life, because if you look into the data for the past 10 years, daily around 18 deaths being recorded. So if you have PKP for 3 months, so expecting a lot of significant reduction of road traffic fatalities on our roads in Malaysia. However, we cannot be relaxed because the statistics that we got in 2020 is actually not representing the actual situation of our country. Yeah, because if you look into the trend, we are still at these 6,000 fatalities each year, even though in 2014, the government of Malaysia has set a mission, to achieve 50% reduction of road traffic fatalities in 2020 due to predicted value lah. If we don't do anything in since 2014 until 2020, the number of fatalities can reach up to 10,000 fatalities. So the government set a milestone, set a target to reduce that predicted fatality by 50%, by 5,000 something fatalities. But looking into the statistics, of course, we achieved that particular value. However, as I said earlier, due to COVID-19 cases, that figure might not, show the actual situation on our countries. But that being said, we have to be grateful because we managed to reduce that to 4,000 something fatalities. Because why? Because based on our research in Maros that we have conducting for the past few years, one fatalities can cost the country around I think around 2 million ringgit. So based on the data in 2019, 6,167 fatalities, it has actually cost our country, Malaysia, economic loss of 8.76 billion. Just to let you know the impact of road traffic crash and also fatalities in Malaysia. Okay, this is basically the data that I just mentioned to all of you. Okay, on the left side we have the fatality figure, still at that figure about 6,000. But if you look into the road safety index, okay, road safety index is basically you take the fatality value and you divide by the number of vehicles on that year. Okay, this is the first one. You divide by the population number of that year, and also the per billion vehicle kilometer of that year. So if you look into this particular figure, of course, it looks nice lah. Of course, it looks nice. It shows that there is a significant decrease of road safety index for the past, I would say, for the past 20 years. This is something that we have to be proud of also, because I think all of you might agree with me that if the number of vehicles keep increasing, the number of people also keeps increasing, the risk will be more. So when the risk will be more, then the number of accidents and fatalities will be more as well. But we managed to stabilize. We managed to stabilize the fatality figure, even though the number of vehicles, also the number of population also increased. So that is why if you look into here, for example, back in 2000, every 10,000 vehicle, around 6 fatalities has been recorded. But now in 2018, the recent data, only 2 fatalities has been recorded for 10,000 vehicles. So there is a significant improvement that we can look from here. It's just that this particular road safety index has not been our benchmark. I think for since 2014, because we believe the exact figure of fatality should be our main target lah. So the exact figure is that 6,000 fatalities lah. We would like to reduce that 6,000 fatalities to 50% of it at least. All right, next. So what are the main contributing factors of all of these road crashes? So if you look into this statistic, it shows that around 93% due to human factors, and the rest goes to vehicles around 2%, roadway around 3%. So today, for this particular session, we are going to talk about this vehicle safety perspective, which is not that, I would say, not that critical as compared to these human factors, around 90%. However, why vehicle safety or automotive safety feel is very important? Because in automotive safety, there are 3 main phases that I will be highlighting after this. And one of the phases, which is during the crash, sometimes you do not do anything wrong on the roads. It is due to someone else's fault. So if you're involved in a road crash and it is because of someone else's fault, due to the safety of the vehicle, it can save your life. So that is why vehicle safety is something that we have to that we have to promote, and we have to also look into in order to solve the road safety situation, not only in Malaysia but also worldwide. So I'm gonna go very fast because it's already 4:32. Okay, so in order to solve this, one of the principle that has been that has been the basis for many countries is to use this safe system approach. And under this safe system approach, there are a couple of mechanisms in order to improve the road safety. And one of the elements under here is safe vehicles. Okay, safe vehicles. This is what I'm going to highlight now from this starting onwards. Okay, so what makes a vehicle safe? Okay, this is what the people say based on this 2014 data that I've been that I did back in 2014 doing a simple survey. I think around 500 respondents, and this is what they say. This is what they say. This is what they understand. Okay, most of them perceive that ABS is what makes a vehicle safe. So what is ABS? ABS is basically a technology inside a vehicle, termed as anti-lock braking system. It is a braking systems technology inside a vehicle, which is not outdated technology. It's a conventional technology for braking. Now we are already moving into ESC. So ESC is basically ABS, and ESC is an active safety technologies. So they think that technologies that can prevent road crash is what makes a vehicle safe. That is what they think at that time. And around 11% of the respondents think that airbags, airbags is a safety feature that can make a vehicle safe. However, only a few people that's actually noting that the safety of vehicles is actually the total system, not because of a single technology ataupun single system inside the vehicles. All right. Okay, so when we want to talk about vehicle safety, now we go straight to vehicle safety or automotive safety. Hidden metrics for road safety is one of the principles that we have to understand, right? So under this hidden metrics for road safety, there are three temporal phases, okay, before the crash happened, while the crash happened, and after the crash happens. So in order to solve road safety, we need to tackle these three aspects. The first one is obviously the human aspects, because human contribute around 90% of road crashes. Okay, the contributing factors. The second aspect is, of course, the one that we want to talk about today is on the vehicle aspects, and the last but not least on the road and environment aspects. Okay, if you go into these vehicle safety aspects, right? These are the technologies that we need in our vehicles in order to avoid the crash from occurring. The aspects of roadworthiness, braking, lighting, and speed management. And when the accident happened, because the crash is inevitable, so we need a technology inside the vehicle to save us, to reduce the injury that we sustain if we're involved in the crash. So that kind of technologies is called occupant rescue systems, crash protective design, as well as other safety devices. So for post-crash, okay, this accident is actually is already happening. So this technology has saved you, has reduced you the injury. So after that, what we need is the emergency vehicles to come into the crash site as soon as possible. So there are a lot of technologies existing on that. One of the technologies is e-call, in which if an accident, if a crash occurs, it will send a notification to 999 automatically. Yeah. So this particular technology has already been installed in high-end vehicles, of course, in high-end vehicles. But in Malaysia, I think still very rare on this particular technology. But if you look into other well-established countries like US and Europe, this particular technology has been there for quite some time already. Okay. Okay, as I said earlier, this is the scope that we have to look into on how to understand what is automotive safety, the pre-crash aspect, during crash aspect, and post-crash aspect. For pre-crash, we need to understand what is roadworthiness, okay, roadworthiness, and also active safety technologies. And then during crash, as Dr. Sabirin just we just discussed just now on crashworthiness, how crashworthy the vehicle is when that particular vehicle is involved in crash, and also in terms of passive safety. So basically, passive safety and crashworthiness can be, the definition is quite similar. And post-crash, we talk about ease of access, fire risk, and e-call. Ease of access is something like, if you are involved in the crash, is it easy for the emergency responders to remove you from the vehicles? One of the simplest technology is the car door handle, whether you can open the door or not when the crash happened. So if you look into certain crash, kalau you guys have heard on certain crash, it's quite difficult for the emergency responder to open the vehicles. So that is part of the post-crash technology that has been equipped in the vehicle for quite some time already. Yeah. All right. Okay, so this is the definition of roadworthiness. Okay, roadworthiness is basically an ability of an automobile to be in a suitable operating conditions or meeting acceptable standards for safe driving and transport of people, baggage or cargo in roads or streets, being therefore strictly legal. So when you talk about roadworthiness, you just remember Puspakom. So Puspakom ensure the roadworthiness of the vehicles before that particular vehicle being sold to the consumers. So that is one. Another aspect of roadworthiness is while you are sending your vehicle for maintenance and services at the service center. So that is also part of roadworthiness issues. So this is just a video. Can you hear the sound?
Yeah.
Can you, Dr. Saibiri?
No.
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 Can you hear the sound?
No.
No. Okay. Perhaps because of the setting, I think. But it's okay.
Yeah.
I think because of the setting, it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm
Now.
not so sure. Okay.
Yes. Here now.
Can you hear the sound?
Yes.
Okay. Right. So basically, this video just show you the importance of maintaining your tire maintaining your tire. Why tire is very important? Because it is the only item that comes into contact with the roads. Yeah. So that's why maintaining the tire appropriately is something that we have to look into lah. All right. So that is just an example of roadworthiness technology, simple technology, which is the tire. All right. So the second aspect of pre-crash technology which is called active safety. Active safety is any technology that can assist the drivers, us as a driver, to avoid the crash. Okay. Okay. This is just an example of aquaplaning situation. Okay. Okay, so basically the video that you see at the top, this one, shows the braking of a vehicle without any technology, just using conventional braking, in which that particular vehicle does not have ABS, at least ABS lah, anti-lock braking system. So what it shows is basically when you pump the brake fully, all right, when you pump the brake fully, you cannot control the steering wheel because the wheel will be locked. If you have not been trained to to evade certain certain emergency situation on the roads using conventional braking, then this is going to happen lah. This is going to happen like this. Let me show you one more time. Oh, sorry. Perhaps I have to run from here. So the wheel is locked. As you can see from here, the wheel is locked. You cannot do anything about it. So you just berserah lah, something like that. But the second one is on aquaplaning situation, in which you apply the brake on a different set of surface. Okay, this is a wet surface and this is the dry surface. So when you apply the conventional braking on this particular surface, it will result in aquaplaning situation, and that is where the technology plays an important role, which is the ABS lah, at least the ABS. Unless you have been trained to control the vehicles using the conventional braking in this kind of situation. So for information, I've been trained previously lah to do this kind of thing. So if you don't have the experience, then it's going to be difficult for you to react in emergency situation using this conventional braking lah. So that is the basic technology for the braking, okay, which is called anti-lock braking system. I believe most of the vehicles nowadays already have this ABS. You can check whether your vehicle has it or not. You can check from the manual book, or while do you want to turn on to turn on the ignition, you can see the ABS comes blink for a few seconds, then it will turn off lah after that. So that means your vehicle has ABS lah. So but certain people do not know on how to use the ABS. Certain people got the perception that if they have the ABS, they need to pump the brake. You need to pump the brake, in which that pumping action is not for ABS equipped vehicle. That pumping action is for conventional braking lah, and like the one that I said to you, because the pumping action is what is actually being done by the ABS if it functions lah while you brake. So basically what you need to do is you just fully brake, and you will hear the sound of like macam ketak-ketak. That is actually the sound of the ABS working lah in terms of ABS. So this is basically the basic technology for braking in the vehicle in terms of active safety technologies. All right, so the more advanced technologies is called ESC. Okay, this is electronic stability control. One of the technology, you can find it in Suprema. So this is one of the situation of Suprema S. Okay, basically what it does, this particular technology, it actually correcting the vehicles in these unstable conditions in automatically or in automatic manner. So this particular ESC has been in our vehicles since 2017, in which the Malaysian government has gazetted or has mandated the law. All new vehicles being sold in Malaysia since 2017 will be equipped with this particular technology. So if your vehicles is before 2017, you need to check whether your vehicle has it or not. All right. So that is just an example I would like to show you based on the video, so that you can see lah. This is the technology for the active safety. So next is the technology for passive safety or crash worthiness. What it means by crash worthiness or active or passive safety is basically any technology that can reduce occupants' injury inside the vehicles if they are involved in road crash. Like I said earlier, sometimes it is not your fault the crash happens, right? So you need a good vehicle also in order to protect you if you are involved in a crash because of someone else's fault. Okay, let me ask you lah, Sabirin, because I don't like to talk alone. Okay.
All right. No
Uh,
problem.
how long do you think your head will reach the steering wheel if you are involved in a crash? How long do you think? If you are involved in a crash, how long do you think your head akan reach the steering wheel?
50 centimeter? 50? 50 centimeter.
Not the distance. I mean the time.
The time. The time, 2 seconds.
2 seconds. Okay, 2
Yes.
seconds. Good guess. Okay. Let's see the video. Let's see the video. Nanti after this, all of you here yang siapa tengok ni, you will see a video coming from here. This is one of our crash tests that we conducted in Melaka. This is our test lab. This is Honda HR-V test. Our test speed is just 64 km per hour. Once you see the video, this vehicle coming from here and then hitting this deformable barrier, this blue barrier, you will see this time starting at 0 milliseconds. So after that, you will see the hit hitting the airbag. Then you see the time. Let's see. So this is a slow motion video because we are using the we are using this high speed camera. So this is Honda HR-V test, the NCAP test. Okay, so from here, you see, it's already reaching the steering, right?
Right.
Okay, so what is the time here? Around 90 milliseconds. So 90 milliseconds is how many seconds, guys?
Very fast. Too fast.
So kalau if you take 100 milliseconds, 100 milliseconds is around 0.1 second. So it's very fast. So the message behind is that if you are not using your seatbelt, so what do you think? This particular scenario is this particular dummy is being restrained by seatbelt, and then the crash happened. So he move accordingly lah, based on the seatbelt. They put that restraint and everything. But if you are not using your seatbelt, then for sure your head or your face will impact the steering wheel, and the airbag will deploy. And when the airbag will deploy, it will be more severe lah, of course. It will be more severe. So that is first lah. The second thing is the vehicle manufacturer has designed the vehicle in such a way that it can protect you within split seconds. So they have been investing a lot for you to use the seatbelts, and you are also investing a lot to buy this vehicle. So yet you are not using your seatbelt. So it's something sad lah, I would say, because I'm going to take this chance to show all of you the impact of not using these seatbelts. So even with good structures, cars without airbag means nothing. This is one of the car that we tested also. This particular car comes from Thailand. This car do not have airbags, but has a good structure. You can see this structure is still intact, but this particular do not have airbag. Your head or your face will still impacting the steering wheel. All right. So if your head or your face hitting the steering wheel, then it will result in high HIC, head injury criteria, in which if that HIC more than 1,000, it will result in fatalities, death. And just to let you know lah, this dummy that we use for testing in our lab in Malacca, this one, let me show you. This dummy, all right, this dummy costs a lot for sure. This dummy costs a lot, 200,000 something, but it contains a lot of sensors from the head until tibia, Okay, there's here thorax, neck, pelvis, femur, and also tibia. And when we conduct these tests, all of this data will be transferred to this data acquisition system, and from there we obtain the data and when we perform the analysis. So from the analysis we can know the injury level at each body region. So in this case, by looking into it, obviously the injury will be high at head and also at thorax level, at chest level. Okay, so another technology under passive safety is seatbelt pretensioner. So if you look into this crash test video, this is one of our development tests with Proton that we conducted with them. You can see here this seatbelt, okay, this seatbelt being strapped up, when the vehicle impacting the we call this deformable barrier. You can see here when it impact here. So this seatbelt will be strapped up. The function is basically to straighten you out. To straighten you out if you are driving while you are driving. Perhaps at that time you are not sitting in up straight manner. So basically, this seatbelt pretensioner will help to straighten you out before you move forward with the seatbelts, and at the same time the airbag will be fully deployed, and from that deployment you can your face just nice landing on that seat airbag. That can save you. Okay, this is what it feels. I don't know whether you can see whether you can hear this sound. Dr. Sabiri, can you hear this sound? Boleh? Can you hear the sound?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is our test lab. So if masa wish to come to our lab, you can be here to see the demonstration up close. Okay. This is 64 km/h testing. All right. So if you talk about 100 km/h, 80 km/h, then you can just imagine lah. You can just imagine. People also normally ask us why do we perform the test at 64 km/h? Okay, it is because since about 20 years ago, there's been a lot of research conducted in-depth crash investigation, and they found out that the closing speed before the impact is around 64 km/h. Even though you are driving at 100 or 120, when it crash, you're gonna normally you are going to apply the brake, right? So when you apply the brake, the speed is already decreasing. So they have done this analysis and they found out that 64 km/h is the average speed of crash at that time. So that particular speed has becoming the NCAP testing speed for the whole world, for the whole region in the world, also using the same speed for testing on vehicle tests, vehicle crash tests. Just to let you guys know lah. All right. So this is the impact of rear seatbelt wearing. So why I am highlighting this? If you are wearing seatbelt at the front, but your rear occupant do not wear the seatbelt, then it is sort of like meaningless, I would say. It's sort of meaningless because why? the person at the back will be a rocket, will be a launching for you lah, basically. All right, you can see from here. The importance of wearing rear seat belts. And for your information as well, in Malaysia, only around 9%, of our rear occupants in Malaysia wearing the seatbelt. The rest 90% do not wear the seatbelts. So I don't know, Dr. Sabirin, whether you're whether you are wearing this seatbelt or not.
I'm wearing always when I'm driving the car.
All right. So this kind of thing is very important. And I think just to let you know that this rear seatbelt law has been in the country for the past, I think since 2009, if I'm not mistaken. It's just that the enforcement has not been fully fully enforced yet. But the regulation is already there. But of course, when the enforcement is not that thing, maybe because of that the number of wearing rate is very low. But anyhow, I hope those in the audience right now, please wear your rear seat belts, because this rear seat belt can save your life. And sharing from my experience last time when I did my crash investigation back in 2008 until 2012. At that time, I did a lot of investigation, and most of the cases involving two fatalities and above among passenger cars occupants is practically due to not wearing rear seat belts. So please, I'm taking this chance and also to remind all of you and also for me as well. So I'm going to go very fast. The time is not an hour. It's 4:48 already. Okay. And another element that's something that we are not encouraged to do is using this seatbelt buckle, because this seatbelt buckle has been sold as an accessories. You know why? Because certain people they cannot tolerate the warning signals if you are not using the seatbelt, because all these new vehicles is actually having what we call a seatbelt reminder system. So if you're not wearing the seatbelt, certain vehicle will give you certain sound, certain annoying sound. So instead of complying with the sound, they buy this seatbelt buckle to disable the sound. But unfortunately, like I said earlier, you have paid a lot of money to buy this vehicle, and yet you are not using this particular technology, this simple technology, this seatbelt, then you are risking your life, I would say. All right. So next, how about edge vehicles? Okay, this is one of the crash tests that we conducted last time in Maros. So this Kotor Saga. So you can see the difference, the difference in terms of the structure, how the structure works last time, during those time, as compared to the existing technology, which has a better structure in terms of crumple zones, in terms of materials being used in recent vehicle design. Okay, just to let you know. All right. Next, okay. So what are the main catalysts in order for us to achieve safer vehicles, not only in Malaysia, but also in the ASEAN region and also in the world? So these are the two main catalysts. Okay, the first one is of course on the regulations. So in Malaysia, we call it as VTA, Vehicle Type Approval. Okay, I will explain more after this on this VTA aspect. The next one is on this NCAP program, New Car Assessment Program. The difference between both approaches is this regulation is mandatory, all right? This NCAP is voluntary. for vehicle manufacturers. But the impact is the same, of course. The impact is to improve or to demand for best specification, and also to influence, for example, ASEAN and CAP influence the consumers and also influence the car manufacturers as well as the regulations part. So what is vehicle type approval? Vehicle type approval is a system or is a mechanism to ensure that all vehicles being sold in Malaysia comply with a set of regulatory, technical, and safety requirements, the minimum requirements. Yep. All right. So in Malaysia, the governing body for vehicle type approval is JPJ. I think all of you know that, for all type of vehicles. Okay. VTA in Malaysia consists of a committee. Okay, consists of a committee which is called National Committee for Type Approval and Homologation (VTA), and inside this committee there are a number of agencies. Okay, relevant agencies such as the Ministry of Transport, Ministry of Finance, MITI, MOSTI, KPD, and HEP. Okay, JAS is Jabatan Alam Sekitar, Custom, Standards Malaysia, DOSH, Department of Occupational Safety and Health, SPAT, now we call it APAT, Agensi Pengurusan Awam Darat, SIRIM, MIROS also, Puspacom, and MARI, now it's MARI, Malaysia Automotive, Malaysia Automotive Institute, last time MAI, Malaysia Automotive Institute. So I was the member of VTA last time back in 2018 until 2020, for 2 years inside this particular committee. What we do in this particular committee is JPJ will present, okay, a list of approved, pending, and rejected vehicle every month to the committee for approval, of course, for approval. Yeah. So in that committee, of course, there will be a lot of debates and whatnot on certain issues. Okay, so this VTA is actually we call it is applying or utilizing the regulations from United Nations (UN) under WP29, which is World Forum for Harmonization of Vehicle Regulations, and Malaysia is one of the members under WP29 since 4th April 2006. Yeah, and under this WP29, there are 54 contracting parties. Okay, and Malaysia is number 52. So if you look into the tire after this, if you want to look into some e-marking, they call it e-marking. You can look into the tire e-marking. You can look there. There is E1, E2, E3, E4, E4, E5, or whatever E. So that E and number indicates the country in which that particular certification is coming from. So if you find E52, the certification is actually coming from Malaysia, and it is called harmonization, meaning to say if that particular vehicles got their e-marking in Malaysia as E52, so if that particular manufacturer wish to sell their vehicles in other 52 countries, in other 53 countries, that 53 countries has to accept the e-marking from Malaysia. So that is why it is called harmonization. So similar to Malaysia, if that particular vehicle got the e-marking from, for example, from E1 is Germany, so we have to accept the E1 marking from Germany as part of the agreement of the 1958 agreement. So of course, if you look into here, the main benefits is actually coming from all those developed countries all those developed countries. Like us developing countries, we are not the main producer of this type of vehicles or even the certification. Just to let you guys know So these are just an example of UN regulations for passenger car. So if you look into here, there are four main elements for a vehicle to be sold in Malaysia. So they have to comply to passive safety requirement, they have to comply to environment element, they have to comply to general safety requirement, and they have to comply to active safety requirement. So if you look into here, around I think around 50 regulations lah, around 50 to 60 regulations that the manufacturer has to comply in order for that particular model to be sold in Malaysia. Okay, just to let you know lah. And one of the requirement is, for example, under passive safety is UN regulation number 94 here. So it is a frontal collision test. So what is frontal collision test? It is a crash test at 56 kilometer per hour against this deformable barrier at 40%. So under here, okay, there are a lot of this dummy, and this is the requirement that that will be tested lah for this particular test. All right. Just to let you know lah, I'm gonna go very fast here because it's close to 5 already. Okay, so that is on VTA, vehicle type approval. Now we go to ASEAN and CAP. Okay, for your information, in Malaysia, not in Malaysia, in the ASEAN region, we have this program called ASEAN and CAP, New Car Assessment Program for Southeast Asian countries. And ASEAN NCAP is the 9th NCAP in the world after US NCAP, Euro NCAP, China, Japan, Korea, Australian NCAP, Latin NCAP, and Euro NCAP. Yep. So we are the 9th NCAP, and we were established back in 2011. So the main secretariat for ASEAN NCAP is Myros. It's Myros representing Malaysia. So why do we need NCAP in this region? People keep asking us about this. Why do we need NCAP? Meanwhile, we already have NCAP from Euro, we already have NCAP from Australia, but why do we have NCAP in the world? So let's look into this example. Okay, we have this Nissan Micra in Euro. Okay, this is Nissan Micra in Euro, and this is Nissan March in Latin NCAP. It is the same type of vehicle, it's just that in Euro they call it as Micra, but in Latin they call it as March. Okay, so let's see the difference. So in Euro they got 5-star, but in Latin they got 2-star only. So that is why NCAP is needed in those particular region to ensure the vehicle that they send in Europe is the same that they send in Latin. So that is the main purpose of NCAP in each particular region. So what happens in ASEAN? The same model. What happened in ASEAN? Let's see. In ASEAN, we got 4-star. So this Nissan March is not available in Malaysia. Of course, it's available in Thailand. But ASEAN NCAP, we cover ASEAN region. So those new vehicles in these ASEAN countries will also be tested in our lab in Malacca. So that is why we are also testing cars from Thailand. All right, so this is the rating scheme evolution. Just to let you know, until 2020, we have this single rating system. Previously, we have 2 rating system, and then we changed to 1 rating system in order to improve the understanding of consumers on ASEAN NCAP rating. And this is the latest rating scheme. Not the latest, I think the previous one, 2017 until 2020, and these are the elements, being included in this rating. So AOP and COP is basically on passive safety and crashworthiness aspects. Safety assist is more on active safety aspect. Itu je, I like just a little bit of explanation on that lah, on these particular ratings. So if you compare to other countries like Euro NCAP, Korea NCAP, they are also having not similar, but almost similar concepts of rating system, but their priority and weightage calculation is different. Because why? In those countries, the the problem is not the same as in Malaysia or in ASEAN. For example, I take one example. In Japan or in Europe, they have this problem with pedestrian. Meaning to say, there are a lot of crashes involving cars and pedestrian. So they are giving more points to vehicle manufacturers to have a car that can reduce the pedestrian injury if the pedestrian got hit. So they have this pedestrian safety element. But in ASEAN and CAP, we don't have this element because pedestrian is not our main issue. What we do in ASEAN, we give more points to manufacturer if they have this technology that can reduce the conflict between cars and also motorcycle, because motorcycle crash with cars is higher as compared to crashes between cars and also pedestrian. So that is why these different NCAP have their own rating system and priority elements that they want to tackle. Right? Okay. So similar to NCAP test in ASEAN, for example, here in ASEAN NCAP we only have this frontal impact, frontal and side impact offset. But in Japan NCAP, they have this additional frontal impact but full width impact. Just to let you all know lah. So different NCAP have their own requirement of testing as well as the type of dummy inside the vehicle. In Malaysia, we are only using the male dummy. But in Japan, they also have this hybrid 3/5 percentile, which is a female dummy, because in that country they have this situation whereby most of their female occupants sitting at the back, so they want to improve the safety of female sitting at the back, something like that lah, in those particular region. Okay, this is before I finish up. This is the evolution of Prodrom IV. Okay, we tested in 2012. They got 3-star. All right. So those having Prodrom IV in 2012 and before, that particular car is 3-star rated in ASEAN and CAP. You can see the difference later on. I will show you. So this 3-star, you can see, this A pillar got crumpled very harsh, I would say, very severe. As compared to the newer models in 2015, this particular model got 4-star. Okay, this particular model got 4-star. You can see the difference here in terms of crash. So you see that just now, this A pillar got crumpled, and this time around the A pillar is not that excessive as compared to the previous test. Yeah. So this particular model got 4-star. So how about the recent one? The 2017 Prodrom IV. So this one is obviously 5-star lah. So this is what we fight for. This ASEAN NCAP is to fight for safer vehicles for Malaysians or for ASEAN people, to ensure that all the vehicle that you buy performing very well and can save you if you are involved in a road crash. All right. So okay, so just go to conclusion. Basically from my one hour, sorry, I'm taking more time, 5 minutes late. Basically what I want to highlight is that even though we know that human factors are the main contributing factors of road crash, we also need to have an improvement in other aspects, for example in the vehicle aspects, which is called vehicle safety or automotive safety. So automotive safety in Malaysia specifically, for me personally, I think we are already at good level, I would say, at good level. And most of our new cars is actually performing quite well in terms of safety. And of course, in Myros or in Malaysia, I think we need to move one step at a time, ensure that the safety of the vehicle keeps increasing over the years to ensure that no more death on the road due to road crash involving passenger cars, for example. That is what we try to achieve lah for the next maybe 10 years of our time in Malaysia. So with that, I would like to end my presentation. Thank you very much for your listening. I hope this sharing session can give some benefits, can give some overview on the recent trend of vehicle safety, specifically in Malaysia and also in the ASEAN region. With that, thank you very much. Give back to Dr. Sabirin.
Okay. Thank you for the informative and the interesting talk by our speaker, IRTS Muhammad Hafzi Maisa. Okay, a lot of experience, a lot of technology on the vehicle safety, a lot of more on what is how to increase the vehicle safety. So that I think this session is good for the our researcher or students to do our final year project or research on the vehicle safety, how to improve the vehicle safety in the automotive industry to avoid to reduce our road accidents, which is injury of the driver and so on. So hopefully this presentation will be beneficial for the everyone. So thank you for your attention and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good evening. Thank you.